She may have symbolised continuity, but Queen Elizabeth II reigned in an age of change. The second Elizabethan era saw a revolution in our national life. When it began, Wales had no capital. When it ended, Wales had its own parliament.
Through all manner of vicissitudes, the spirit of Wales, sometimes elusive and mysterious, but always present, has, over the years, sustained those determined to preserve and develop the Welsh identity.
1999, and on the eve of the new millennium, the Queen opened the Welsh Assembly. Its presence symbolised just how much Wales had changed during her lifetime.
The history of Wales is a history of trying to develop greater equality between the nations within the United Kingdom. And I would certainly say that Her Majesty the Queen was very willing to go along with those changes as devolution developed.
An early connection was formed just before her 6th birthday. Her Bwthyn Bach was a gift from the Welsh people to the young Princess Elizabeth. The small thatched cottage remained a treasured gift for the rest of her life.
At Mountain Ash, Glamorgan, Princess Elizabeth was recently initiated with strict Welsh ceremony as honorary ovate of the Welsh Gorsedd of Bar.
As she grew, she was given more responsibility, learning the customs and traditions of all parts of the country, of which one day she would be queen.
Elizabeth of Windsor.
Devotion to duty. I think that's what everybody will remember her for.
Dame Sianleg Burke was a friend of the Queen's and often escorted her as Lord Lieutenant of Powys.
She always enjoyed coming to Wales hugely. There was no doubt about that. In terms of whatever event or engagement she was doing in Wales, you always sort of felt that she stepped out of the car or off the train or whatever it was with put it like this, a very light step.
At Cardiff, as at every town and village along the royal route, the people of Wales express their love and loyalty to their young Queen Elizabeth.
The automatic deference seen in the coronation tour would wane over time, but the crowds would always be there, like here in Llanelli for the Silver Jubilee tour of 1977.
We've had 25 glorious years, and I wish to God that he'll give her more.
So you enjoyed yourself today?
I certainly have. Marvellous. I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
She has to remember who you are, what you've done, and ask questions about why you're there.
Dame Tanny Gray-Thompson for services to sport for the disabled.
I've been hugely honoured that I've met her a number of times, and I've been honoured through the system, you know, the honour system, and had 3 honours through there. And she was the person who presented me with those honours, and it did feel that, you know, she remembered things about you.
Sometimes just her presence was enough. Aberfan was one of the biggest tragedies of her reign. 144 people killed when tons of wet slurry crashed into the village. Most of them were children, where it demolished their school. 8 days after the disaster, she came and listened, and it had a lasting impact on her.
I remember having a conversation with one of the Queen's private secretaries and asking him if the Queen had any regrets about her reign. And he answered immediately, and he said, yes, Aberfan.
Broadcaster Giles Brandreth has written about the Queen's life.
She was shocked by it, appalled by it, and sent the Duke of Edinburgh. It didn't occur to her to go, but quite quickly she realised it was a mistake. The scale of the tragedy, the fact that children were involved, meant that she should have gone. And the fact she didn't go immediately was, he said, the one abiding regret of her life.
There were happier times. In 1958, she made her eldest son, Prince Charles, Prince of Wales. But he had to wait until 1969 for his investiture at Carnarvon Castle.
I, Charles, Prince of Wales, do become your liege man of life and limb.
A global audience of 500 million people watched, but it was not without protest. Wales was changing, and from the 1960s on, there were increasing calls to protect Welsh identity, the language, and demand devolution. The Queen addressed the nationalist mood in Wales and Scotland in a speech to Parliament in 1977.
I number kings and queens of England and of Scotland, and princes of Wales among my ancestors. And so I can readily understand these aspirations. But I cannot forget that I was crowned Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
She was never narrowly English. She always had a sense that her position gave her a relationship to lots of very different societies. She didn't, therefore, I think, come to Wales any more than she might have gone to Kenya as an English woman abroad, but as somebody who knew that she had a direct link to these people, this community, and that she had a representative function for them just as much as she did for anybody in the home counties.
In a long reign, the Queen had seen so much, but not like 2020, a global pandemic brought on by the coronavirus. And in a country and a Commonwealth dealing with a crisis, the Queen, once again, was a symbol of strength and reassurance.
We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again.
When she opened the Senedd in 2021, Wales was still living through a pandemic. She used the occasion to pay a special thanks to the people who had helped others during the crisis.
They are shining examples of the spirit for which the Welsh people are so renowned, a spirit which I have personally encountered so many times. Diolch o galon.
The Queen visited all parts of our country and saw a nation grow in confidence. History will remember that it was during the Elizabethan age that Wales came of age.